Hey, this is my mom's sister, my aunt. Her name's Diana. What can you tell me about my mom's side of the family, like about my ancestors?
We have an interesting story about a great-great-great-great-grandfather who was an ambassador. This is about 14 generations ago. He was an ambassador
Of Cuba?
of Spain.
Of Spain?
And this is about 1700s or so.
Oh, okay.
The Queen of England hired him to fight off the pirates of the Caribbean. Back then, that's when the pirates were coming in and invading the islands and stealing their gold and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he hired her to fight them off, and they paid him millions in currency and gold and jewels and land.
Mm-hmm.
And she hired him twice, so twice she paid him off. And supposedly he hid all his fortunes with the banks of England, so the pirates couldn't find his fortunes. And to this day, some of those fortunes have never been dispersed. Some of that currency is still
in the banks.
In the banks
of England.
They've never been dispersed, and there's been times that past ancestors have tried to claim it, but I don't know why it's never happened. But if you look online, you can find a lot of history on this.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, there's supposedly litigation still trying to claim the money, so the people that are still living within the family can have rights to these fortunes.
Okay. So how does Fidel Castro get involved in this?
Well, we think he's a big reason why the monies have never been dispersed, because
how did it get from Spain to Cuba?
Well, he hid it. The currencies were hidden in England,
mm-hmm.
so they never were in Spain or Cuba. I'm not sure if he hid some in Cuba too, but I do know that a lot of the reason why we haven't gotten the money is because of Castro and his regime. He has a lot to do with it. There was a building in Cuba that was burned 3 times, where a lot of the documentation and proof was stored there. So that might have a lot to do with it. But like I said, if you go online and put that name, and you're going to see a lot of history, a lot of information on that.
Okay.
Oh, I can tell you that some of the lands that he owned parts of. Back then, they weren't like different countries. It was all colonies, and the Queen of England gave him some land that it was parts of Cuba, and it was parts of Florida.
So is that how we became Cuban?
We became Cuban because our great-grandparents moved. Your great-great-grandparents moved from Spain to Cuba.
Do you know when?
No.
Okay.
I do not know.
Okay, so that's how we became Cuban.
Well, Cuban is because they were born in Cuba, but your background is really Spaniard.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but your last 2 generations would be, we say Cuban because they were born. They migrated to Cuba,
mm-hmm.
and then they kept raising families there. That's where your grandmother was born.
So, if we find the money, we could be billionaires?
We could be we could be billionaires. I think every one of us that's still alive could be millionaires. So altogether, we'll probably be billionaires.
Okay.
So that's why you have to become an attorney and go to law school and become an attorney. So you can get our money.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome.